Morning, Hall of Fame fam. Buckle up. Because when Oklahoma GM Jim Nagy tweets about to add a dog to OU football tomorrow, it kind of comes off like more of a warning shot than hype. Signing day is here. Oklahoma already owns a top 15 high school class and the top 25 portal hall, but now Brent Venables and Jim Nagy are about to drop the final domino on that 2026 recruiting class. We've got Chris Mason from Sooners 360 joining us to break down who it is, why it matters, and how this shifts the SEC power balance. It's time for Rise and Shine College Football. Let's get after it. Good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss a moment of Hall of Fame college football. Folks, Chris Mason will be in here shortly, but going to go ahead and announce the announcements here. LeBron Bauer from Allen, Texas, is the player in question that is going to be added to today's National Signing Day 2026 recruiting haul. He is a 3-star out of Allen, Texas, 5'11", 162 pounds. The kid blocked 10, count them, 10 kicks this season as a senior for the Allen Eagles. Surprise commitment, obviously, for the Oklahoma, but it sounds like, 173-pounder does a bit of everything for the Eagles. Look, the tape looks pretty good. You can kind of see the fit looking at the tape, according to like Josh McCuistion and some of these guys. I was looking at the fit at the tape just a few minutes ago as I was getting ready to come on. I like the move. We'll get into more of it whenever Chris Mason gets in here, but I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Logan Licky. Oh, Benji. True Okie. My Gun Sweetness. Brandon Snake. Who else we got? Who else? Welcome in. Make sure everybody hits that like button, share the stream, all that good stuff. Make sure you help out Rise and Shine College Football, Hall of Fame College Football. Get back to where we need to be as far as views and ads is when it comes to Oklahoma football, SEC football, all that coming around. Yeah, listen, and just to do a little housekeeping, what we were talking about the other day, come to find out there's a few things that we hadn't been doing as good as we should. Getting ready for these streams, that could be more of it than hopefully it is why we've been getting not pushed out as much. According to everything, I kind of paid for a consultant to figure it out. And hopefully that turns out, we do the things that we need to do, make a few adjustments to how we're doing it, and it should help. But we'll see. All right. Didn't he call Jaden Otta Dawg too? Always with the stuff, Benji. Always. Hey, man, appreciate you coming in. 47 straight. Good to see my guy. Robert Walliger might be interested. Can you see what side of the football he contribute to? Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be a defensive player, and it looks like he's the kind of guy that could apparently immediately contribute on special teams. The guy blocked 10 kicks as a senior at Allen this season. Who was the consultant? Just a guy. Actually, a guy I came across. It's kind of a weird deal. I don't even know really how to explain it, but I did a deep dive over the last couple of days, man, and just kind of trying to figure out what it is that we need to do to get a little better and add some, because the content I feel like has been spot on and solid. We're always trying to innovate and do more, bring more to you guys that you like. Feels like everybody watches us and is loyal to us. They watch all the time. So I kind of was jumping into get into more SEO stuff and things like that. And uh, a friend of mine turned me on to a guy that has built multiple 100,000 plus YouTube platforms. It costs some money to get to talk to him, but he was able to point out a few things that he said is going to really change it. The good news about what we've been doing is because, and the other thing, the content, the analytics show that the content is good. It retains people. You guys are watching after a while, so that's important. But we'll see. We'll see. Who's going to get the DB job? Man, that's a good question, Jay Fez. That's a good question. Um, I'd like to see. There's a couple of different options. Apparently, the guy from Tulsa is an option. I've been seeing some stuff about that, but nothing. I haven't seen anything, or I don't know anything offhand about who it might be just yet. We'll kind of have to wait and see. James Thrice, what's up, my guy? Mars Jams, my gun sweetness. You can be the consultant. You'll do it for a 6-pack of Dos Equis. Well, if it was, listen, I'd have loved to have gotten off for a 6-pack of Dos Equis. It costs a little more than that. Yeah, 4 figures. So it was important, but touched your button. Please respond. What? Might be interested. Can you see what side of the? Oh, yeah. Let's see. What up? 47 straight. Let's see. Who else? Do I got any other newbies that I didn't notice at first? Yeah, today's the original signing day. That's the crazy thing. Signing days, it's changed so much, going back to the way it used to be, that, man, this was like a big holiday back in the day. You think about signing day, early February, man, people taking off work and stuff like that just so they can sit around the computer and see what's going to happen. And according to OU Insider, he grew up with Markel Ford, and we've been recruiting him since he was a sophomore. Nagy seemed to love working in silence. He does. He does enjoy that. That's pretty good stuff. For a 6-pack of Dos Equis, I could be the most interesting man alive. I like it. We better be hitting that 5K subs in a week. Listen, I think the main thing is that over the next month, I need to be more consistent in doing what we're doing. So if we can do that, that'll work it. It'll work itself out pretty well. Um, you know, uh, I could hold off another month to make it if that need be, but I think that by next month, maybe we should hit it. So I think that could happen. That could happen. Let's see. Real quick here. Coming into the show. 1 second. We're still working it out. All right. Coming into the show from Sooners 360. Our guy, Mr. Mason, Chris Mason.
Hello.
Sir. We're just talking about our guy, LeBron Bauer.
Yeah.
Tell us about LeBron Bauer.
Well, so I'm not going to pretend like, I've been tracking this name for weeks and I've been sitting on this information or anything.
Might as well have.
or say something like that. I knew this was going to happen. Nope. Brand new name to me. Hadn't heard of this guy. Just been watching his huddle video this morning when the news broke. So, I mean, stats-wise, we'll just go, if you haven't gone over his stats, we'll just go over his stats real quick. So, he had 50 tackles last season, 6 interceptions. So, he's making plays at cornerback. 8 pass breakups, so he's getting his hands on the football a lot. A pair of defensive touchdowns. And then he has, I believe it is 6 blocked punts and 4 blocked field goals. So, watching his
That's
huddle,
what I was just talking about. What a freaking stat.
I
I
mean,
mean, you hear a lot of things about guys and what they do in high school and stuff like that. I don't know that I've ever heard that one. I've never
yeah,
even heard of
I don't
anybody
think
getting that many blocks.
I I'm sure maybe you know there's somebody who I can't recall who has something close to that, but I can't recall anybody blocking 6 punts in a huddle video. And I'm watching his huddle highlights, all 11 minutes of them, and they're all in there. And he just seems to have a knack for blocking punts and blocking field goals. He's coming off the edge and just seems to, you know, sneak through blockers. Just his anticipation on the snap count seems to be elite. So if OU basically got to the college football playoff based upon defense and special teams. So at a minimum, this kid from Allen, Texas, is going to be a special teams demon for OU.
I was fixing to say right away you should have a guy that can come in and play some special teams. You know,
At a minimum, and every block. I mean, the block punt turned around the. Well, it didn't turn around, but it was just a kind of icing on the cake for. Well, I mean, actually, it did. Indiana blocked that punt against Miami, right, for a touchdown, and that pretty much,
indeed.
and that was pretty much that was the winning. That was kind of the winning play, sort of, if you want to think about it that way. So, and they obviously blocked another punt against Oregon. I think I have that right.
Yeah.
One of the many mistakes Oregon made in that game. So, at a minimum, I think you can say he's listed somewhere between 5'11" and 6 foot. Watching his huddle film, that seems about accurate. He doesn't look like he's 5'8", 5'9". And if you were paying attention to Nagy's press conference back in December, he clearly articulated, I wanted to sign another cornerback. I mean, he basically said that. So when you look at the roster, OU's lost a couple of cornerbacks. So when you think about adding this kid, and this kid could put on some weight, could he also be, he's got a decent frame. Could he also be a safety? Yeah, he could easily be 185 pounds, 190 pounds, and 6 foot 190, play safety for the Sooners. That's entirely possible if he doesn't work out at cornerback. Is he an elite burner? That doesn't show on his huddle film. He looks quick. I wouldn't say that he's got elite long speed at cornerback. But the special teams plays are what kind of jump out to you. He's a special teams demon, and with an expanded roster. I'm not sure if you guys, sort of remember that, NFL teams used to have this kind of guy, right? An elite special teams guy that they would keep on the roster for just making plays. Back in the day, you just see, they'd be like, why is that guy still in the NFL? Because he's an elite special teams guy. So he did have offers from Houston, Arkansas, Texas Tech, and Arizona State. So, that's another SEC school. It is Arkansas, but three representative programs in the Big 12 that have been playing respectable football lately. Houston, Texas Tech. Obviously, Texas Tech was in the playoffs, and Arizona State was in the playoffs the year before. And I think we all think Kenny Dillingham's a pretty good coach.
He is.
He does a good job at Arizona State. And obviously. Our friend Willie Fritz down in Houston, they got a 5-star quarterback, and they put together a good Big 12 year this year as well. So those are
Yeah,
three.
they finished or tied for third, I guess.
Yeah, they were they 9-3? Were they was that 10-3? Is that right? They won their bowl game.
10-3.
They won their bowl game.
They beat LSU. Yeah.
Yeah. So so three respectable programs that I think do a pretty good job judging talent. Right there. So it's not Tarleton State, UTSA, and Incarnate Word. It's three Big 12 programs that are, I think do a good job evaluating talent and do a good job evaluating talent inside Texas. I'm not sure whether that Arkansas offer is the new Arkansas guys or the old ones. But yeah, I mean, I suspected that Nagy was trying to find a piece to add in February that Brent had. and this isn't really a criticism of Brent. It's just a fact. Brent had sort of ignored the February signing day the last 3 years in a row. The last February signee was Taylor Heim, which was back in 2023.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so he had kind of ignored the February signing day, and I think this tells us that Nagy is and the scouting staff is always evaluating talent, always looking at senior film. That the moment the portal ends, they're back to evaluating high school kids and doing that. So this tells me that OU had a number of kids they were probably looking at to decide if they wanted to add a player or two in February, and I can see why, looking at his film, you would say, okay, well, what can this kid bring to us? He can be an elite special teams difference maker. And
Yeah, I think that's fair. I
I
think that's
mean,
fair. It's pretty clear just looking at the film too. I mean, I know you were looking at it before. I was looking at it before we jumped on as well. So it's one of those deals where I mean, he looks pretty good to me. He definitely
yeah,
has a quickness off that edge there. The first thing I saw was they had him coming off the edge on just a regular defensive play.
yeah,
He gets to the
blitz play.
quarterback
He,
immediately.
yeah,
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 and he smacks a running back. I'm not sure this is the guy that you want out on an island with the SEC with big SEC wide receivers, but we have cornerbacks to fill that role, and we've been recruiting them and
well,
adding them in 2027. So,
if
but
he's sticky, if he can be sticky, and in one of the ones that I really liked was him coverage, and he had to make up for he kind of tried to jump another route. He saw that it was going somewhere else, and he made it up and was able to even get an interception on it. So
yeah, he has
uh,
good anticipation. I would say. I mean,
he does, he
as
does quick,
elite.
quick, quick, quick.
He's quick. He's good. He's. I mean, I just watched him downing a punt on the 2 yard line. Right. So
Right? Yeah,
he could be that guy. So if everyone's like, well, this is why is this this guy's ranked like number 2,000 in the country, and I'm like, well, it's February signing day. There's no 5 stars to sign today. That all happened in December. So OU, this is an example of, we said that Nagy was his senior bowl talent was finding gems from all over college football and bringing them to the Senior Bowl and having them basically prove that they belonged in the draft. So from that perspective, this looks like a guy that the OU coaches looked on film. They probably were evaluating a number of guys that had similar CB skills, I think, because I think there's probably 4 or 5 kids out there that the names have been sort of thrown around a little bit. But I think it's this. I think it's his special teams ability that just sort of probably put him over the top. I mean, he could be a
yeah,
slot corner. He again also, like I said, he's got a decent frame. He could easily be 5'11", 6 foot, 185, 190 pounds, and play safety.
yeah. Listen,
Allen,
some of these guys shoot up an inch or two. I was talking to Marcus Dent the other
yeah,
day, and he was talking about Isaiah. He came in at 6'6" a couple years ago. He's 6'8" now that he got to Mississippi State, and that's he was obviously when they were going around looking at all the different places, they were measuring him everywhere, and it's a legit 6'8" at this point. Some of these guys haven't really hit that spurt yet, and with his frame, he looks like he's 6 foot type of guy.
yeah. I mean, and you never know. Like and you never know. Like sometimes, the age of seniors these days can fluctuate greatly, right? It can be
Yeah,
he could be a late, he could still be 17, right? He's not
yeah,
18 yet, or so there's always some variance there. But the big thing was that Nagy wanted to add another cornerback, and he certainly has added one. This kid, he certainly added another DB. I mean, this kid's recovering onside kicks. I mean, it's his special teams highlights are kind of ridiculous. Um,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, I've heard of a lot of guys that score shit ton of touchdowns,
yeah,
have a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
picks, things like that. Whatever.
yeah,
You never ever hear about somebody who's blocked even like But I've never heard of anybody blocking like 5 kicks in the season. 10?
I remember watching
And he's playing
Cortland.
at the highest level in Texas, by the way, at Allen. You know,
Yeah, he is. I'm not sure where Allen is. They used to be a powerhouse. I'm not sure how they've been doing lately. But I remember
they're
Cortland
still a
Guillory.
powerhouse program. They hadn't won anything lately, but
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I don't know that he has a lot of talent on that roster to help. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah,
because they're not. They're not. I don't think they're not. They're not. You're not signing guys out of Allen like you used to. At least
sure.
that's my comment. That's my impression
Yeah, I
right
think
now.
it kind of Chad Morris might be a reason for that when he was there. To be quite honest with you, he was the head coach there, and that ran off Michael Hawkins. Uh, helped run off Michael Hawkins.
And there
So
was some other stuff going on there, but yeah, I
I'm
mean,
aware. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm
yeah,
just saying. Yeah,
you just it's interesting, but I remember Cortland Guillory's film from last year, and it was a great film, and he blocked like a punt or a field goal, like in that, and it was like a great highlight, and I'm like, oh man, that shows And Cortland Guillory was playing like option QB for his high school, and dude,
he
his
was.
highlight reel was great, and you're like,
Cortland
and
was
then
unreal, man.
yeah, but in there was like one punt block and like one field block. Okay, Monty, thank you for correcting me there. I remember a couple of years ago when they lost Hawkins, they weren't doing so well. So I hadn't kept a track on them. They're always a powerhouse previously. So
Made
thanks
it to the
for
semifinals. That's good news. Hey, thanks,
good
Monty, for
news.
that one.
Thanks for
Yeah.
correcting me there. I just hadn't checked on them in the last year or two because
That's
you
deep.
had.
That's deep in the 6A playoffs,
Yeah,
man.
it is. So he's obviously making plays, and as you said, he's playing top Dallas competition at the highest level. That big Dallas metro area where there's just lots of really good schools with guys at OU signing. Again, and like you said, he's just making special teams plays all over the place, and his DB highlights. He's showing a lot of anticipation. He's showing a willing physicality. He's not cringing when he's tackling the ball and things like that. He's willing to be physical, throw his head in there. So yeah, again, if all he is a backup DB, but he's out there making special teams plays left and right for the Sooners, I'll take that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say, but other than yeah,
I
we'll take
mean,
that
I mean,
anytime.
if he blocks a punt and a field goal during the season, and
Worth your weight in gold, right there, buddy.
once in one score games that we deal with in the SEC quite a bit and
Yep.
don't seem to be going away with the kind of schedule OU's going to have to play every year. Any little bit helps. And like I said, the other thing is his coverage on special teams looks excellent. So he seems like a useful ad. Would you prefer to add, a 6'5", 320-pound defensive tackle with mobility? Sure, those guys are all signed in December.
They are. They are. I wasn't, and I'll say this: I wasn't expecting. You didn't. I don't even know that there's any guys that are of the top 100, top 150 ilk left for the 26 class that haven't signed somewhere.
There's only
So
two guys. There's only two guys, and neither of them were tracking to Oklahoma at any point during this
right,
process. And OU never got
right.
involved in either one of them, and didn't reach out to them. So it's not like they were. It's not like I mean, one of them went to Oregon, and the other one's going to sign, I think, probably with Nebraska today. The kid blocked 6 punts and 4 field goals. Money, 10 total.
Yeah.
Game changing kick blocks in a season, 10 of them, which is just and he's got and the fact that the fact that he has so many interceptions and he has so many pass deflections tells you that instinctually he's just around the football.
He's got a nose for the football. Yeah.
Nose for the football. So that and that we've had great athletes at cornerback who never could find the ball, right? Just constantly like, why aren't we getting any interceptions? Well,
See, I like what Robert's saying here too. And anticipation skills like that could equal understanding schemes and systems right away. Sometimes a player like this will surprise you.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
you never
You
know.
cannot teach a nose for the football. You cannot.
Right. I mean, and again, and the guys that we always see around the football, that was comments. Those are the sort of comments we make around like Kip Lewis in high school, Cortland Guillory in high school. just
Eli Bowen set the
Eli
record
Eli
at
Bowen, and
shit.
Eli Bowen was always around the football, and like, well,
Always.
he's too short. He's not as good as his brother. Those comments always were flying around
Go
left
and
and
look at
right.
his senior tape and how very often that they did not even throw his direction because of the interceptions that he had. He's got the record at Denton Guyer by a lot. So
Yeah, and
these
then
are guys that
even not throwing around him, he somehow still end up around the football. I mean, he
yeah,
just
he had interceptions anyway when they never threw his way. They might throw to the middle of the field and he'd get there.
yeah. So it
Crazy shit.
just again, so he's got good anticipation skills. Again, I mean, he's an elite special teams performer. I mean,
Mhm.
you can't argue with that kind of production. And again, a block punt here, and also that means that he's also just an absolute monster in coverage as well, right? Like, you can put him on your outside gunner, right, when you're punting the ball, and he's getting downfield, and he's just gonna. I mean, he's probably just gonna run some guys. They're gonna hate playing him on special teams, right? Like, man, that guy, Bauer, OU's gunner on the right side, Bauer is just an absolute pain in the ass to deal with, right? Just
Yeah.
drawing penalties, being in the right place, being in the right lane, all of these, anticipation and instincts to tackle returners, which is also something that you could just see in his film. He's just instinctively, he's just always around the ball.
Very instinctive. Yeah, and I just went back to that page where the film was playing and I see him. He's kind of lined up as a safety, but he sees a pitch out and he's in the backfield before the guy can get out of the backfield. You know what I mean?
I mean,
And
I'm just watching his
lined up
next.
from safety depth. It's just crazy stuff.
I'm just watching. I mean, the guys. I just watched another punt block. They have perfect.
Yeah,
They're lined up perfectly, and he
yeah.
still dodges a blocker and just gets to the punter. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't know that that's something. He's just, and again, off the edge, he's willing to put his he's willing to be physical, make tackles. It's again, he's not 6'3" and he doesn't run a 4.4. But we have
You
guys
know
that
what
do
I
that.
like? You know
We
what I
have
like
guys,
about
but we
him
have guys
that
that do that though.
you know what I really like that I'm seeing watching this film is that he's not. A lot of corners, especially as they come out of high school, they'll run with the guy, the receiver, whoever he may be, and just keep their back to the and just watch the receiver the whole time. They're just trying to stay with them. That's not him. He's always got his eyes in the backfield, kind of peripherals, keeping his eyes on the receiver that he's in coverage with as well.
Yeah.
He's always got his eyes on where the ball's coming from. So I look again, anticipation I think is elite. I think his anticipation is elite, and his nose for the football, his and the way that he seems to be watching the game. I enjoy what I'm
Yeah.
liking this film a lot. And again, we'll see. When you can anticipate this way and you can expect him to, at the very least, if he comes in and does anything on special teams as a freshman, then you've more than got what you expect out of him, right? If he doesn't turn into a all SEC corner or whatever, so be it. If you can get something out of him, at the on the special team side of things.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, if he's your special teams demon, and he can give you 10 snaps at cornerback or slot corner, or he puts on a little weight, and you decide you want to play him at safety to take advantage of some of that anticipatory stuff, right? To like, okay, the quarterback's going over here, things along those lines.
Yeah.
So I think I understand. I mean, again, when you watch his huddle film and you see the block punts and the block field goals, you can understand why Nagy would be like, "I got a 105 roster.
Yeah,
What?
extended roster that why not? Why wouldn't
Why
you?
why would I not take a special? And you watch his coverage skills down on punts and kickoffs, and he's also like he's also got a weird way of getting onside kicks.
Yeah.
OU needs an onside kick, and this kid, you get a good kick, and this kid finds a way to get the ball. I don't know that this is that it's interesting to see. Like I said, Allen was always a good program. They had a little bit of a dip during the Michael Hawkins thing when he
Yeah.
had a bad year there, and then he left. They had not so great year after he left. Looks like they've sort of righted that ship.
Well,
Obviously,
they
if they're
let
in this,
Chad get out of there. They got rid of Chad.
so,
So,
so obviously if
but
they're in the state semifinals, they kind of righted that ship. So, and as you said,
yeah, yeah,
they're playing all the best Metro Dallas, extended Dallas Metro
absolutely.
teams that we talk about. So this is
You know what? You
Nagy.
know what's funny is you remember now old signing day. But used to this was a national holiday type of thing. Gather around the
Oh yeah,
fax
yeah,
machine,
yeah.
find out what's going on, where everybody's taking
Wake
the
up at
day off.
wake up at 6 a.m. Just
I kind of felt like that today because I'm sitting around waiting after you sent that out last night that Nagy had tweeted that. I was up at. I mean, I'm up here getting ready and stuff at 6:30, and I kept refreshing Twitter just to see when it was going to come through.
yeah.
It ends up being about 10 minutes before we went online. But I thought that was pretty funny, man. I was like, man, it's almost like old signing day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's again, and you got to give Nagy's got a little more flair for marketing than I kind of realized. I didn't think he understands social media and the power of social media in a. I didn't
I
expect
was
it to
thinking
be.
about that too. That's pretty elite social media work. I
I
thought.
mean, and I don't think we were expecting that from our GM. I thought he would be more of a behind the scenes kind of guy, but I mean,
Well,
with the
he's
high.
stealthy. He's definitely stealthy.
Oh, he is. But with the Heineke comment that he posted, where he
Yeah.
basically he announced that Heineke had lost his appeal, and basically he trashed the NCAA in that post, and then now
Yes,
this post and some of the other stuff he posts, he has more of a flair for utilizing social media effectively.
he does. I gotta
So
admit, it's pretty good stuff. It's pretty good stuff, man. And yeah, when I looked at the tweet this morning, it had over 108,000 views.
exactly. I mean, that's elite social media work right there. I mean,
Yeah.
and he got everybody buzzing. I mean, for a day that I was like, oh yeah, it's signing day tomorrow. Am I gonna even pay
Yeah,
any
yeah.
attention
Nobody
to
seems
it?
to care anymore, but that's what I was saying. I actually cared about it today. That's good stuff.
So that's good. I mean, Josh McCuistion on Sooner Scoop, just compared him to Trey Norwood. I don't think that's a bad comp. Trey had a cup of coffee in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that wasn't with I mean, I think we all kind of realized that from 2017 to like 2019, there were OU players that could have been so much more under this coaching staff,
Yeah.
right? That there was a lot of underdeveloped guys that if you think about some of those guys and you think about like Neville Gallimore if he'd been coached by Todd Bates. Not that the defensive line coach back during that time frame did a bad job. He did a good job. He's at SMU now. He's doing a good job. But Todd Bates is just at another level, right? Just experience and
Bro.
things like from that standpoint. Just
Absolutely.
saying, just saying that and especially like some of the safeties and DBs and linebackers if they've been coached by Brent and or Brandon Hall or even Jay Valai. I know Jay Valai's leaving, but Jay Valai did a good job getting our cornerback room back into shape.
I
So
mean, back to back freshman All American says that he was really good. You know
it
what I mean?
does, and he's signing good guys, and again, and Valai was very much hurt by Gentry being hurt because he didn't get to have Gentry, you know, from the hop, right? He lost. If you think about Gentry, if Gentry had been around in 2023 and 2024 completely healthy, that's a very different cornerback room, and you don't have some of the cornerback situations that we had to deal with while they're working through some things. So yeah, it's a nice ranking. It's a nice again. He makes play after play, and he could end up being OU tends to have a big cheetah and a small cheetah. He could end up being a small cheetah, right?
He
You
could.
put 10, 15 pounds on him, and he's doing kind of a Kendall Dolby kind of cheetah thing. That looks entirely possible from what I can see based upon what he's doing. That's an instinctual short range, get your hand around the football. That's kind of what you want from a cheetah. So could he be a slot cornerback, big cheetah? That's also something he could possibly do, because there are, the OU defense has some unique roles that allow guys that you would call tweeners to have more impact and are utilized better, where their weaknesses are lessened. Like Nico Jandro, I think is going to be a fantastic cheetah, because all the things he does well are emphasized at the cheetah spot, and the things
Yeah.
I think are his weaknesses, which would be if you try to make him the deep safety, he's not going to be doing any of that at cheetah. You're going to be having him disruptive in the short area for the most part.
Right.
So I think this kid could be one of those guys too. Maybe like a Brandon Shelby type, if to go in the way back machine. But from that perspective. So Jason, I got like about 10 minutes. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah,
some
I want you to
recruiting?
answer a couple of questions, and yeah, some more recruiting. But this question here, I like. Are there any other true freshmen other than Hatton that we're expecting major play this season? I keep hearing stuff about Jake Krell getting in and being, at least a third down guy or whatever, third down rush guy, something like that. What anything else that
Yeah.
who are some of the guys you're expecting?
So I think obviously Jonathan Hatton at running back.
Sure.
Zephan Walker, don't sit on him. The feedback that is out there seems to indicate that he's doing as well as Hatton in winter workouts, and Hatton's a beast,
He is.
and then that workout kind of world. I think Jacob Curry, there's a lot of buzz on Jacob Curry right now at linebacker. If he can put on 10, 15 pounds in this offseason before August rolls around, I think he could be in the 2-3 deep at linebacker. His physicality and his trait skills are kind of elite. So that could help you there. If Bo Jandro's healthy, he's going to hit the field. As long as he can stay healthy, and that's been my only comment about him. As long as he can hit the field, he'll help you at linebacker. And Nico and Bo are going to be like special teams demons as well. So they'll be all over the field there. Tyler Ruxer, we're starting to hear some Tyler Ruxer stuff, that he's having he looks really good. Again, the the tight end room is tougher than it was when we signed him in December. I was like, oh, he's definitely going to help us. Now we've got Hayden Hansen and Rocky Beers, who's also testing really well, and Jack Van Dorsela, who's also testing well. That room's a little more complicated. But I think those are your starting points. Jake is obviously, Nagy expects him to play, so I think he'll play. And I think, the two wide receivers to watch, I think you need to watch the wide receivers and see what they do. That physically, Jasir Rogers and Jaden Petit are different.
He's a big boy, man. He
Are
looks like
different.
he's
Yeah, different than what we
yeah.
have.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think those are some possibilities. You'd like to redshirt the two offensive linemen. Probably can redshirt at least one of them. But it wouldn't shock me if Deacon Schmidt didn't end up with a. And it's also interesting. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. The 9-game redshirt rules in
Yeah.
effect.
Well, I don't know if it's in effect. The last I heard, it was approved by the AFCA.
So it's
It
really
still has
close.
to.
Really
It's
close.
almost yes, because it just has to be ratified by the NCAA.
If that goes through, I think you could see a lot of freshmen playing.
That's wild, bro.
It's. I
And
mean,
and I think that's. I hadn't really thought too much into that, other than the fact that for all this stuff about that the NCAA seems to want to screw up people's eligibility and all that over a play here, a play there, 15 minutes, but it looks like they're going to approve you can play 9 football games and still not lose your red shirt.
it's bizarre. So Jeremy's asking a question that's kind of bubbling up. Steve Wiltfong has predicted Case Alexander to go to Penn State. His brother obviously transferred there, and the Iowa State coaches that the family knows all have migrated to be the Nittany Cyclones. Yeah, I think there's a chance OU could lose Case Alexander to Penn State. But when you have Tevin Epps and probably Cooper Witten, that's less of a loss than I would think. You can find another linebacker, a third linebacker, if you want to add a third linebacker to the class. And if I was Case Alexander, it's nice that the coaches are there, but this isn't the tight end situation. You're a linebacker. Where do you want to play? I would be focused heavily on the fact that Brent Venables and the linebacker coaches and what the linebackers have been doing at Oklahoma the last 2 years, just the last 2 years in terms of Stutz and Kip and Heineke and everything else. I don't know how you can turn down go to OU, but if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. OU will find another linebacker the third linebacker in the class if they need to. He's a good player. Would love to have him in the class, but you can find linebackers. You can
Sure.
find linebackers. So I think there's a number of guys they could easily pivot to if they needed to.
I agree. And I think again, I'm feel pretty good about where they're at right now. In that having Kip coming back, man, he's the heart and soul of that defense. The expectations that we have as far as go ahead.
Yeah, I think TP. That's a good point. I think we'll see
We've been
more of
talking
the.
about that a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, that Nagy, wants he talked about that in that podcast that he wants that after your freshman year he's going to sit down with kids and we're gonna evaluate what you're doing and how are you doing. So and I think that's going to be key in terms of you know. But JW3, imagine both of those guys under Chavis and Bates. If Bates could have
Yeah, and
fixed,
just based on depth, it wasn't really comparable.
yeah. I mean, just
You
think
know,
about scheme. If Isaiah Thomas, if he could have come back and played for Chavis and Bates in that
Ooh,
OU scheme a
Lord,
year, he's not an undrafted free agent. He's more like a third or fourth round pick. And Perion Winfrey,
gotcha.
if Bates could have got his head sort of straightened a little bit and found a way to get to him, he could have been as a three tech in the current OU defense. Winfrey would have been very difficult to handle. Now I'm not
No
sure
doubt,
he survives Brent and the discipline and all that in the program, but
possibly.
maybe not. But if you could have gotten his head fixed around,
What's that one guy's name that I think he's still in the league, but the one that was getting in all that shit. They were like sticking up their drug dealer or something. I don't remember. But good
Yeah,
stuff. Good
good stuff.
stuff.
But yeah, I think that's what's going on. Obviously, somebody was asking about the two big offensive linemen that OU has verbals, the 27 guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, Caden Penny and Cooper Hackett are your linchpins for this recruiting class. If you haven't seen the photo on Twitter of them at the basketball game with Gus Corsair, Cooper Hackett seems to be getting bigger every time he's photographed. I mean, he may be 6'8", 290 already. I mean, he's a huge looking kid. And when you watch him in the basketball court, he's a really good athlete. I mean, it's not sloppy weight on that kid. He
This
is,
is a great way to judge athletes as well as watching them
and
play
he's
other
dunking,
sports.
he's dunking the ball.
Yes.
That's and I'll end with a comment that you just offered Graydon Howell from Broken Bow, right? And one way to just view him is he's the quarterback for the team making all plays. He's the point guard on their high school team and looks really good. He's a really good high school point guard. I don't evaluate basketball to know, what level of hoops he could play in college. But he's a
No, but
really
good
good high
enough.
school basketball player. He's a
Great
good
player.
enough
Yeah.
he's a good enough baseball player that Skip Johnson is interested in. Maybe if Skip Johnson would probably, let him play baseball. And he's a 400-meter champion in his classification in the state of Oklahoma in track. So
Yeah.
these are the kind of guys who play four sports. They're the quarterback of their high school team because they're the best athlete. You get them in college, you get them you move them to like slot receiver, and they get to focus on football. They just blow up. They're just like, why is this guy so great, and why was he so undervalued? Well, he plays in Southeast Oklahoma, which isn't exactly a hotbed of football recruiting. In state, it's OKC and Tulsa, right? I mean those bigger metro areas. I can't remember the last time OU signed a kid from like Ida Bell, Durant, or Broken Bow, or any of that part of the state. It's been a while.
Hmm.
So but that's another example of a kid that you just you watch the film and he's making plays all over the place, and he's a four sport kid. So you know that when you get him focused on football, the ceiling just goes higher. I mean, we see these stories all the time in recruiting and in the NFL draft, right? These are the kids that we don't know what their ceiling is. Some of the kids that sometimes you worry about, some of the 4 and 5 star kids who have a trainer and are focusing exclusively on football and have had
Yeah,
all the nutrition and training, and you wonder a little bit if they're kind of maxed out, right? Like, okay, what is there any more runway for them to develop?
that's a pretty good point. It's pretty. I haven't really thought about that. I always like that, but you know what? There's a reason why these coaches seem to always like multi-sport athletes coming out of high school. They covet them. They want them to come and play. It makes a lot of sense, and I agree with you.
It's a
I
it's a
think there's a point to which you want certain guys to be developed a little more than others. I think quarterbacks being the ones that I'm thinking about for the more,
Yeah, but
right?
I'm on Bo Bentley. One of the things I like about when I heard of Bo Bentley was his lacrosse. He plays lacrosse,
Hmm.
which is a quick reaction, quick anticipation game.
Sure.
So I think for like a quarterback, you okay, if he's
Well, you think
you know,
about Owen Heineke. Owen Heineke comes from lacrosse and
yeah.
is able to walk on and be what he was this past year.
Well, he
Right?
was really a linebacker playing lacrosse, according to him. So
I get it.
his
I get it.
penalty minutes, he said
Still,
he racked up lacrosse penalty minutes, like starter minutes in like 3 games where he played 15 minutes. He's like, yeah, I led the team in penalties. So his lacrosse coaches were like, maybe you
that's pretty
should.
cool.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
but I'm just saying that you like Sam Bradford played basketball and golf, right? The classic example, right? That he was as good as those sports as he was at football. I kind of like hearing
Sure.
that that your QB has some skills in other sports, right? That okay, maybe you're stretching yourself by doing something different rather than being just sort of the robo QB and QB camps all the time and all that. So we'll see.
True.
We'll see how we see. We'll see if it helps Bentley at all. It might not. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. Any one thing? Talk to us about this ad on the offensive line in the portal. I wanted to get your opinion about that one. There, obviously, Western Kentucky guy came out of IMG. I
Yeah,
guess they knew him, Stoney and
yeah. What I like is the main thing is he's got 2 years to play.
mhm.
So this isn't just a one and done depth
Yeah,
piece that can't really help the program, right? He
six
has
four
a
318. Seems like he's got the size.
he has a redshirt year,
Hmm.
which means if this 9 game thing goes through, you can have him as a depth piece, and if you need him, great. But if he misses a couple of games, you can redshirt him and then
Yeah,
still have 2 more years from him,
no doubt.
which is a tactical, strategic advantage as well. And you know,
I would
um,
think.
you picked him up. He's a depth piece. I mean, I know a lot of. I mean, we have our starting offensive lineman. We added a Marion
Slotted.
Harris.
I get
Yeah.
that. I get
So
that.
this is a guy that he played 23 games. He had 6 starts. He can provide you some depth experience. He's some insurance inside. He probably can play right tackle if you needed to him in a pinch. So he just gives you depth. And again, this 9 game thing, if it goes through, with him having a redshirt year, means you
It's
can
gonna
get
go through.
you
Yeah.
could get him experience. Call it a redshirt year, hopefully, because we won't have a revolving mash unit on the O line this fall. I mean, we'll see where
That would be
we are
nice.
at. It'd be nice to have some continuity and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
starters. But yeah, I think he's a good piece. I mean, you added him at the end. I think this gives you 14 to 15 scholarship offensive linemen, which, considering the guys that left the program, that's not a bad number to be at. A lot of other programs are in worse shape and have really, I mean, and again, we picked up a Marion Harris, who's basically a starter equivalent, and we had 5 guys returning who had a lot of experience last year. So
Facts. Yeah.
that should be getting moving forward and getting better. So we should be building Our offensive line has a good chance to have 4 starters that were high school signees for OU. So that's for the portal, Bill, for the portal stuff. That's a transition that OU is potentially going to make this year.
It's good to know. It's good to know. Anything else you want to add before you get out of here? I know you got to get.
Yep, one name for you guys. Watch out for Zane Rowe and OU. I think it's coming. Denton Geyer, defensive tackle. He's 6'5", 275 already. So he's going to be a 3 technique in Norman. He has outgrown the twitchy rush end that he was 2 years ago. He's just huge.
Love it.
Can't keep the weight off.
Hey, listen. He's a big boy. I like it.
Twitchy.
I like it.
Twitchy at 6'5", 270, 275. But
I love twitchy guys. Those twitchy dudes.
But he's going to be 6'5", 290, 295 in college and be twitchy, and that's a set of those are the physical traits Nagy's looking for that can make players elite. So I'm going to bounce, Jason. Thanks again for having me on. Really appreciate it.
No, I love having you on, man. Appreciate everything, all the info. It's important for us, so we appreciate you coming in and talking to us a little bit.
And I'll see you tomorrow night for Sooner Intel.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks,
I got to talk to you guys soon, too. A couple of things we need to go over, so I'll holler at you later.
Okay, great. Thanks. Bye.
Chris Mason, Sooners 360. Make sure you guys get over there. Subscribe to Sooners 360 if you're not already subscribed. This is obviously, we're running on their channels today, him and K. Chris's Horns Down podcast channel as well. Become a subscriber over there. Go and sign up for his Patreon page. I think it's $1.99 a month. You get stuff earlier and some behind the scenes stuff that you wouldn't get otherwise. Appreciate having Chris come in and talk to us about some of that stuff as well. Yeah, I think this is good. 3 defensive linemen that will be drafted in the first 2 rounds of next season. Stone Jackson and Wine. I would not be surprising to me at all. If they, I could see first rounders. You know what? I mean, it wouldn't even surprise me. But obviously, you're going to see how they kind of pan out this year and how it goes. But I think it's going to be a good season for this D line again. I'm excited to see. You guys know me. I'm a big Nigel Smith guy. I have been since he was in high school. I can't wait to see what he kind of comes up with and what he does with his year of getting to do it. Obviously, Danny Okoye, some of these other guys, man. I think that you lost some experience and stuff, obviously, with R. Mason being the closer that he was. But if you remember, I mean, you go back and think about it. Taylor Wine pretty much made it that you didn't have to miss R. Mason so much, because he just got shit done during that time. So, what up there, Johnny boy? Good to see you. Satterfield, what up, man? Good to see you. Dave's here, just popped in. TP, Jeremy Turpin. Let's see, who else? Anybody else jump in that I hadn't acknowledged yet already? Bishop and TP came in and tried to get booted, talking about those damn records. Robert Walliger, good to see you, man. J-Dub, 3 Amigo, what up, man? Everybody calls me J-Dub, too. I like seeing that one. Sooner in Texas, what up, my guy? Of course, my guy, Monty Cisco, good to see you as always. Neilio. What do I know about college football? Just a little bit. Not a ton. What's up with all you guys? How's everybody doing? Let's see. Hey, definitely wanted to bring this one up. Did you see what Colin Cowherd and with Tebow is such a fun watch, isn't it? It never ceases to amaze me how quickly Lincoln Riley can put his foot in his mouth and, just come up with a new excuse for whatever the crap it may be. But so I enjoyed that bullshit the other day. He's got a lot of SEC country angry. And, I definitely find it funny that he's talking about now, not just one part of the country can pay players. Do you realize where you are, Lincoln? Reggie Bush? Any of that shit ring a bell? clown. So funny. So freaking funny. And for all the talk that he was doing about being able to do that, and of course they did well in the I think they've done a pretty decent job in the transfer portal too, but they have the number one class according to the big boy recruiting services and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. That something that we were talking about the other day on the Monday show about the Big Ten. Actually, we've talked a lot about how they've protected their big brands from each other for the most part. I mean, I can go back and show you where it's not the same. I mean, you've got Michigan. Michigan had basically two preseason ranked teams that they played during the season. You could add USC to that being ranked by the time they played them. But they've got six preseason ranked teams according to like that composite list. You know, even Ohio State. I think they had four last year. Ohio State did, but they bump up to six this year. You went from 2 to 4 from Indiana. They're actually making the other than Penn State, I think pretty much any of the teams that they look at as one of their major pillars of that conference, they're going to have to play more, and I think that is showing that strength of schedule metric is going to matter. It is going to matter. Let's see. But if I guess what I was about to say about Lincoln, if you don't figure out a way to get to 10 wins without Notre Dame on your schedule, what's your excuse going to be then? I mean, just saying. They act like they weren't all doing it at top programs. How well it was being done is questionable. Okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. Took a huge class as far as quantity, but they did have some really, really good takes in it. They did. They did. And I think that's the biggest reason they were number one was because of quantity. You're right about that. But he needed that's the thing is Lincoln needs any kind of good optics that he can get at this point. But yeah, we know that. Slimy as they get, bro. Slimy as they get. Ain't no family of mine. Gotta love this brisket. Hey. Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Now, acting like they weren't all doing it at top programs. How well it was being done is questionable. Absolutely, absolutely. Everywhere has been doing it. I mean, look, guys. I became a sports writer in 1999, 2000. I've covered, and within what 3 years, I was covering college sports pretty much full time. I can just tell you, no matter how small the Power Four schools, Power Five schools, whatever, no matter how small they were, they all pay. They all have. They always have. I mean, it's been going on for years. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. So the fact that you would sit there and say some shit like that, it just tells you how out of touch and full of shit he is to say stuff like that. It's just wild. A lot of them are, man. Did you see the stuff that Keyshawn was saying about him? Whoo! Keyshawn mashing on him. Loved it. Do I think he's on the hot seat? I think that he still has a large enough buyout that are they going to fire him at 8, 9 wins when he had 9 wins last year? Probably not. You know, um, but I don't think that. I mean, I don't know that they fire him unless it's like a 6, 7 win season that could get him in trouble. I think, but I don't know that. I mean, the Notre Dame stuff notwithstanding, I mean that could be a part of it as well. I think he's in trouble. It's not no way. this is not factual. Again, TP, you say stuff like this. There's no way he should be on the hot seat. Maybe you can say that. Maybe you can say that. Whether he is or isn't, it's not true. You realize that Texas A&M paid $78 million for Jimbo to not coach there. There's no such thing as too much of a buyout. There's no such thing. Kansas got huge money bonuses for their players when they beat Texas back in the Big 12 days. Yes. Yep. I remember hearing about that. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, the amount of and especially at look, make no mistake, there's no big programs, no program wants to pay a huge buyout like that. You'd rather pay it for your players and that kind of stuff, especially now that you have NIL and you can. Make no mistake, if you're not getting it done, they will fire you. They will fire you at a place, especially at a place like SC. They're chomping at the bit to be good again. Chomping at the bit to be good again. Yeah, they really wanted his ass gone. He was all full of shit and not getting anything done. And that's the thing. If you've got a guy like, okay, do you want to continue? Would you rather pay a buyout for a guy or would you rather continue to pay NIL money for him to not get it done? And they just built the guy a new facility, the amazing facility that they got out there. I mean, they've got a lot of money invested in Lincoln for sure. At some point, you need to have a return on that investment if you're USC. And they got more money. Look, USC is one of the richest universities in the world, not the country, in the world. Their endowment, the stuff that it's insane how much money they have at SC. Insane. Yep, that's right. Almost every coach is hired just to be fired in 3 and 8 years. Yeah, in 3 to 8 years. Yeah, I think there are already people that are sick of that. Yeah, I mean, they. I remember a few years ago. What was the old boy's name? Remember the guy that I got into it with on Voice of College Football? Uh, Tim Prangley. Remember Tim Prangley? He was always talking about how they never played these cream puffs G6 schools and shit like that, and certainly never played FCS schools. That was a big thing that they never played FCS schools out of conference. That wasn't how they are. That's not what they do at USC. They played at FCS school last year. I believe they are again this coming season. Let me check real quick. I've got it right here. They've got a TBA for week 0. They may have to be playing somebody in week 0, but they've got the Raging Cajuns. I mean, that's not FCS, so no, unless they add that. But it looks like they're trying to add a week 0 game, a tune-up game. It wouldn't surprise. I mean, here's the thing. One thing I will say, and I just having that thing up right there. I mean, let's look at that. We can look at their schedule here. Let me pull it up. Um, 1 second. Pull this up here. All right. So as you can see, like, let me pull it up, make it bigger so I could kind of look. SC's over third from the or second from the right. So they got Fresno State, then they play Louisiana, Rutgers. But I mean, their schedule, they got three theoretically tough games. I mean, Oregon, of course, it's at home. Washington's at home as well. But then they go on the road to Penn State. They haven't been good on the road under Lincoln at all. Wisconsin on the road after that. Then they're home to Ohio State. But then Indiana after a down week after that. This is a tough schedule for you. If you're expecting them to make the playoff and you haven't seen I mean, this is the first time they've played Ohio State at all. I mean, they didn't play Oregon the first year that they were in the Big Ten, or Washington. I don't think now they're playing both of them. Indiana, they didn't have to play them last year. Penn State, they played. I think Penn State they played last year for sure, but I think both of the last 2 years. But I mean, really, the only decent Big Ten team that they're not playing, or the team that you expect to be good is Michigan for this year. You know, so that's kind of one of them deals where it's like, dang, bro. I mean, that's a kind of a tough schedule for them. It feels like to me. Yeah, Trojan Fight was in here the other day, Neilio, talking about how they had to, before their Ohio or no, before their Oregon game, how they have to make the trip to Rutgers. I told him he sounded just like freaking Lincoln, whining about that shit. Yes. I would be willing to bet, Brandon, willing to bet you that Lincoln had no idea that they were going to go to the Big Ten. None. White is home game. White is home game on there. See there? It's at the bottom. Yep. Yeah, and then I think he's actually one behind Clay Hilton after 4 seasons. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, and now Jimbo's actually Jimbo's I forget which crew he's on, but I think it's like that TBS crew or whatever to do college football. So he's been talking. He's been back on TV again. But yeah, I mean, why would you go back to coaching? Why would you go back to coaching? Pretty wild stuff, man. Anything else you guys want to see on here? I was looking at. I mean, Illinois, or I mean Indiana. Sorry, they've got a tougher schedule than they've had for sure. But I don't know. I can't see SC really. I have a hard time seeing SC really being a whole lot better. Just to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, but he's talking about having to make the trip and that was all last year. Lincoln was bitching about traveling across the country and then having to be back the next week and play a home game, in an early game. He was bitching about having an early game after a road game that was a long ways away or whatever. Begging for a job, like a coaching job? Shit. Why would you even care? No, I would agree with that. At Penn State and Wisconsin, not necessarily. He hasn't been good on the road at all. He hasn't been good on the road at all. Hmm. No way. I agree, Neilio. To me, if you get 78 million, man, just go fishing, bro. Play golf. That's all I'd be doing. Fishing and golf. And doing what he's doing, being a talking head. Okay, cool. That's what I'd be doing. That's what I'd be doing. Oh man. It's pretty wild. Let's see what's some of this other stuff. Um Joey Aguilar was granted that temporary restraining order to be coming back for another year. Uh, it may, I mean, I think that just gets him closer to being able to come back, but it's not necessarily that. I mean, I guess they could take it to court sooner than later, but it seems to me like, as I was saying on the SEC Gauntlet the other day, he'll probably be back for Tennessee this season. They certainly went and grabbed as many quarterbacks as possible in case they don't. But that's big for Tennessee if you ask me, because they have the number one scoring offense in the SEC last season. So pretty big deal. Let's see what else. I was seeing Will Stein. They were talking Will Stein talking about Kentucky disrupting the SEC. I think they're going to be pretty good. I don't know. I feel like, Kenny Minchie, that's a big ad for them. I think he's going to turn him into something pretty good. It could be something else, man. Let's see. Inside NIL. USC was the highest spending program on the 2026 class. 35 commits, though, including 2 5-stars. Trojans class came in at 10 to 12 million, is what one of SEC staffer told On3. That's pretty wild, bro. And that, well, again, they've navigated through it because last year Oregon played 2 preseason ranked teams on their schedule. 2. I think maybe you go to 3, and I think it just stays at 2 because Washington, I mean, they didn't really play anybody. They played that Indiana game and Penn State. Penn State was the 2 that they had last year. So FSU might be open shortly for Jimbo. I've heard people talking about bringing him back too. One thing I would say about FSU is Mike Norvell is going to be calling plays, obviously, with Gus Malzahn's retirement the other day. The best season that they've had when they went undefeated, he was calling the plays. He was certainly one of the top OCs in the country before he got the job. It wouldn't surprise me if they were a little better this year than they were. And actually, they had as good a recruit. People are acting like they didn't recruit well at all. They were 14th in recruiting this year, even though he's supposedly on the hot seat. I don't know that you. I don't know. Note to anyone considering a trip to Dublin for a football game: don't. Season killer. Yeah, I agree. We talked about that even before there. My thoughts on how Indiana head coach develops a natty winner. My thoughts? I think he's a good developer. I think the biggest thing that you want, if that anybody can take from Indiana, guys that played a lot of football is obviously a huge part of it. But to me, it was just the fact that, and we kind of talked about this on Really Flawed's 100th episode show the other day. I think the biggest thing that I saw out of Indiana was just the fact that they didn't do nothing special. They just did things well. They didn't have a bunch of wrinkles and crazy plays. They ran the football and they were efficient with the way they passed. And I thought that, I think Mendoza's very good. I think the best thing that he does, he throws that outside shoulder very well. It worked for them. But what they did was ran the football very, very well. And they had a commitment to running the football that made it easier on their quarterback. Plain and simple. And they played good defense. Don't get me wrong. They played really good defense. They had an unbelievable secondary that was led by what's his name? Was it Pope, I think? Or that dude was a baller. But they're just fundamentally sound. I think they were healthy. Part of that was the schedule. Part of that was the fact that, you know, just the way they do things. I think, not practicing too much, too long. I think they spent a lot more time in film. I think that it was just. I think the one thing that what Signetti does, he has a master class on how to prepare. I just think that that's what they're really good at. Wasn't good on the road at OU. Might have won, but doesn't have. He doesn't. He does not. But I will say this: if USC is going to have a good season this season, and I mean, again, that schedule makes it tough to expect them to win 10 and go to the playoff. Here's why I think that it might though. First of all, you go get a guy like Gary Patterson to run your defense. And Gary's been around long enough that I think that he could communicate with Lincoln on how it would help as far as, he can help him with the how to play complementary football. And I think that Lincoln has a great deal of respect for him. So I think that maybe that works out. I was saying this to USCJ. The other part is that look, he's got a real deal quarterback. Jaden Mayava is a player. He had great numbers last year. I think if Lincoln commits to running the football, I think it helps them a lot. Do I think that they're going to beat Ohio State? No. Do I think they're going to beat Indiana? Probably not. They do get them both at home. You know, I think the main thing is you got to find a way to beat Penn State on the road. You got to win your road games. And I think, if you can if you can limit it to, and you don't have Notre Dame. So I think Jaden Mayava, if they're doing the right things, they have a chance. They do have a chance. Yeah, that's kind of wild. I think the biggest thing that SC fans are liking about this class though is that a lot more of them are from California than what they're usually getting. Yeah. Yeah. On the recruit, yeah, yeah. No doubt. FSU needs to get Dillingham. And yes, Fisher left. Can't imagine that FSU would actually go back to Jimbo because I got to tell you, he left him in shambles when he went to A&M. He left him in a bad place. Oh, do they? Ooh, they're going to London? Oh, I forgot. Who are they playing over there? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I feel like Riley doesn't give his teams that edge, though. It's like you're waiting to see them unravel in the fourth quarter. No doubt. No doubt. Dillingham isn't leaving. I think because he didn't leave, he didn't end up. Something happened with that Michigan job that he didn't end up getting it. I'm not sure that Michigan was as high on him as it sounded like a lot of you guys wanted him to be. But here's the thing: if do you really expect Arizona State to stay competitive? Because I'm not sure that they're going to always be willing to. My aunt is a booster out there at Arizona State, and she's spent time on their board of regents. I'm not positive that they're all down with this continued investment in NIL. right? I just don't know that they will be. They haven't ever really. I mean, they haven't been huge on paying players, even whenever it was illegal, right? I have a hard time I just don't buy into it that much. So, and a lot of it I think would depend on if are you able to continue packing people in the stands. We'll see, you know. But I look, being at home isn't always all it's cracked up to be either, and he's only been there a few years, so it could get stale. I think that at some point he may leave. Bevo's bodyguard? No, it isn't. Not. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. That was a huge part of it too. But he just left them in bad shape. He left them in bad shape. Well, you never know. You never know. Dillingham will be better in the South. Yeah, maybe that could be part of it too. But the resources, I would agree with what you're saying, Dave, about the resources part. I agree with that part. 3 million per coordinator doesn't hurt anybody's feelings either, for sure. I got you. Dillingham to Texas in about 13 months. Listen, I don't want that at all, Zofix. I don't want that at all. I think he's better than Sark. They're doing good. They're doing good. Norman's over there snoring, man. I'm surprised y'all don't hear him. Surprised y'all don't hear him. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break and then we're going to go for about 15 more minutes. I'll be right back. Hey, everybody, before we get back to the show, I just want to take a second to shout out our partners at MyBookie. Hey, if you're watching games in college football, NFL, the NBA, NHL, or combat sports, you may as well get some action on it. MyBookie lets you bet on anything, anywhere, and anytime using point spreads, totals, money lines, and even futures. Hey, you can even bet live while the game is going on. If you're new, they'll even match your initial deposit up to $1,000, so your money goes further right out of the gate. At MyBookie, you can use the online sportsbook or play casino games, many of which feature live dealers. All of it's in one place, and it works just as smoothly on your cell phone as it does on your laptop. MyBookie allows you to deposit with cryptocurrency, features top-notch customer service, plus a rewards program that actually pays you for being a regular player. So if you're going to put action on the games anyway, do it the smart way and deposit with MyBookie and Hall of Fame Media. Just click the link in the description, hofmedia.us/mybookie, and you can take advantage of your first deposit match right now. You can support the show and get more bang for your buck all in one click. Quick reminder though, whether you're gambling at the casino or online, make sure it's only for entertainment purposes. Never bet more than you can afford to lose, and don't go chasing losses like a knucklehead. If you or someone you know needs help, text or call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER. All help is free and confidential. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Damn, Brandon. Yeah, I had to get rid of him. I don't. I don't like Bevo at all. Dude, this is on my last nerves. The second he gets there, he's on your last nerves. They could start the Austin Mullet Mafia. Mike Gundy, huh? Yeah. Something tells me that's not going to happen. But it would be funny. Would be funny. You know, Oklahoma wouldn't lose to Texas ever again. Giving Sark his coaching flowers. He can coach. Can he? I don't know. I I think he has his limitations as a coach. I think that's clear. Again, he's had 10 wins plus twice in what, 12, 13 years of coaching. So, don't agree. I think he's mediocre. He's certainly not one of the top two or three coaches like everybody acts like he is. He's not. He's not. Huh. Is this real? Yeah, listen, beating Oklahoma is one thing. Listen, and there's something to that, I guess. But that's offense. That's an offense thing. That's an offense thing. Yeah, I agree. uh, I love historical facts. Lincoln Riley's brisket greater than Sark. Wow, that's a fired shot right there, buddy. Yeah, but at a time when they're paying players and like, look, the one thing they do well, I think he's done well at recruiting and recruiting the right way. I think that they've dropped the ball on the offensive line stuff where they had the pancake factory and then screwed that shit up. But I think, I mean, to me, I just think that they've, coaching wise, once he's out of his script, we've seen that he doesn't handle things well. Second half very well, adjustments. You see him lose. They beat teams that they're supposed to beat, and sometimes they struggle with them, and barely get by. They never seem to beat the teams that they shouldn't beat, that have the same level of talent that they have. Aside from Oklahoma, who hasn't had an offense to speak of for the past couple of years. Bevo's name came well before. Oh, did it? How does one spend time in Texas or Oklahoma area of the country and not know how to make a brisket? Yeah, and listen, don't even. It's not even about spending time. He grew up in Texas, West Texas. You know, Muleshoe, Texas. They don't even have restaurants, so you have to know how to cook. He sucks at it. There you go. You'll be in Austin this weekend smoking briskets, pork loins, ribs, and chickens. Woo! Who are you going to see over there to do that? That's awesome. Is this kid good, dude? Have you go look at his? Hey, go look at his film. On three's got his in the story about him on the Sooner Scoop. They've got his huddle film up there. His anticipation is really really good, Lucas. Really good. LeBron Braun. LeBron Braun. LeBron Braun. That's pretty cool. I'm hitting Joe's KC barbecue tonight with the wifey and friends. Yeah, I like KC barbecue too. I'm still a Texas barbecue guy, really, but I like KC barbecue. The more I've had it, it's not bad. I need to get back up to KC at some point. Hot links, yeah. I've met people from Oklahoma and Texas that have no idea what a burnt end is. Okay, have you? Then they suck at it. Yeah, not everybody's good at it just because you're from a place, but if you're doing it, especially at that, I mean, if you're willing to do that for your football team, right? You have to figure that some of these kids' dads have been around a smoker. They've, everybody's got an uncle or something that does something like that. I mean, you have to have been around barbecue, especially coming from Oklahoma and Texas. How would you even do that if you're Lincoln? Like, I wouldn't even have done it. It was so wild. That looked like straight up like you bite into a piece of sand. That's what it. That's what that brisket looked like it had to have been taste wise. Just wild, man. I'll come check it out. I need to get back up there. Hope he doesn't flop like LeBron. You definitely should know what it should be, right? Sark is a poor man's Lincoln Riley. Ooh, that's a shot. That's a shot, Monty. Yee. You just emailed me a picture? Okay. Let's go take a look. Okay. This came from Google's AI. Well, okay. The brand A&M students broke into the stockyard and branded 13-0 on that steer, the meaning it represented the 1915 score when A&M beat Texas in College Station. UT students offered the brand to Reed Bevo. Ah, okay. That's actually pretty. I always wondered why Bevo. That, I guess it makes sense. I don't know that I trust Google AI, just if I'm being honest. But so why are you going up there, Benji? Did you tell me? Oh. Did you tell me? No. Texas Monthly, what? Why are you going over there and doing all that this weekend and all next week? You're just going to chill or what? So that's real? Nice. Nice. Texas Monthly did an article about that when they announced the SEC edition, clearing out myths. It's not true. Yeah, I don't know that I trust Texas Monthly in that. I mean, it sounds like a good. It's a story that I can get behind for sure. Texas barbecue is the best. Listen. I didn't say that I think Casey's is better. I agree. Knights of Columbus. That's our annual Super Bowl smokeout. Nice, nice. I like it. I like it. That sounds like fun. The annual smokeout, huh? You get people from all over the state. Knights of Columbus. Wow. Got some average to above average barbecue, but nothing like in Kansas City, Missouri, says S4L. I don't know, man. There's some pretty damn good stuff. Midland had, Midland, Texas, and I lived there for a while. Some of the best barbecue. They had great places. Austin has some awesome barbecue places, by the way. Awesome. Um, yeah. That's pretty awesome, bro. I like it. Thumbs up from me, buddy. Sounds like a great time. It does. Memphis barbecue. And had Memphis barbecue. The vinegary stuff ain't for me. It is pretty vinegary and more in Memphis, huh? I don't. I don't think I've really that I can remember. I don't remember having it much. Eh, okay, I got you. I like it. I like it. Oh, it's just the local chapter. Okay, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, listen. I mean, barbecue is barbecue. Barbecue's good, and if you listen, I don't mind having anybody's twist on it. You know, I'll try it all out because it's all I love. I just love good meat. Ooh. Arr, arr, arr. Does anybody remember Wild Horse Mountain Barbecue back when I was younger? It was good. Man, I don't remember that actually. Hmm. Carolina's like the vinegar barbecue as well. That I have had when I was down at training and stuff like that around Fort Bragg and Pope Air Force Base. Have had it. It is vinegary for sure. Zarda Barbecue and Gates are my spots in KC Mo. I like LC's also. Nice. What? What the hell? You don't like barbecue? What's the matter with you? You don't like meat? Hmm. I'm starting to think less of you there, TP. You see, barbecue sandwiches. I mean, I've had it with the slaw. I prefer it without slaw. I don't mind it as a side or whatever. I don't know. I just don't think it's like it has to be right. I just don't think it has to be. The hell's the matter with you, TP? The hell's the matter with you? Why do you not like meat? Is this something your wife got on? I mean, is it you or did your wife make you become a vegetarian or something? What are we talking about? Oh shit! Don't bring stuff like that up. Should never admit such things, Brandon. Come on, man. BB's Longside Barbecue, fantastic setting and atmosphere. Some local blues playing live too. Yeah, 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 yeah. Barbecue sandwiches at Augusta National are fire. I would have to agree. But I like the pimento cheese ones as well when I went to the Masters. I'm going to have to do that again soon. Do you go to the Masters every year there, Sooner Cowboys? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Me too. Yeah, I don't. Listen, you can put coleslaw, and I'm not a huge slaw person, but you put it on the side, it's not going to bother me. I don't understand putting it on there. You know what? I think I knew this, Monty, but now that I know it, yeah, he said crock pot, dude. Get on him. Not every year would you go out. It's awesome, bro. I went twice. I've been. I was there for the year of the when he hit the chip shot that went up the hill and then down and the Nike logo sat there. It was a really good one. I was covering it that year. Hey, Monty, you're gonna have to do some smoking meats here pretty soon, man. I'm gonna have to come see you. We got to do that and drink some beers and stuff. or something. It's just wild. Haven't had a burger since '82. I just can't relate, bro. I just can't relate. That's wild. Wow. Oh man. No crawfish either. Now see, I like crawfish a lot. That and some people won't touch it. Mud bugs. Hey, Dent, being from Mississippi, Dent doesn't touch the old mud bugs. Won't do it, man. Won't do it. What up, Goated? He's like, nope, not interested. The last time I went to a crawfish boil, and these folks were from it was an oil field company from Louisiana. They were in Midland, Texas, and I went with a buddy of mine, and they had those steam things set up all in this warehouse, right? And but there were so many of them that a couple get on the floor, they get stepped on. There was hundreds. There had to have been 200 people there, and so they kind of looked like cockroaches. It weirded my wife out. My ex-wife now weirded her out. She wouldn't touch them. But the way that when they were doing sucking the heads and doing all that, they weren't having it. Not having it. Me too, man. Me too. That was the first time I ever had it was in Houston. But it was another Louisiana guy that he stayed at the high rise that we were in. Me and my cousin stayed in this high rise down there, Dominion at Post Oak. And that place was dope. That's where Tracy McGrady lived and Jeff Bagwell lived there. They lived up on the top floors, but it was pretty hooked up. But this dude, there was this one guy, man, he was from I forget what the name of that town was in Louisiana, but he was crazy. Cajun dude, funny as shit, had a lot of money. He's the one that told me about the chudouge, which was the red ass. It's crawfish, freshwater, saltwater. Um, they are related to cockroaches. I know. Yeah, I get it. Not SEC ready. Yes, she's ex-wife for a reason. Hey, listen, there's more reasons than that. But yes, it was good though. It was good stuff. I like fruit, but you want to talk about sugar. There's a ton of it. That carnivore diet is like the way to go, huh, Goldie? Did you lose a lot of weight doing that? Dude, I love them too, man. But yeah, the first time he had it down by the pool area down there, that our guy, and shit, man. The only thing that sucks is it just takes a lot. If you're not used to it, some people, man, they're ripping and they can just mash out. It takes me a while. Go to please eat your fruits and veggies. But is it saltwater? I don't think so. I mean crawfish are definitely in freshwater for sure, but I don't believe that they're in saltwater that I know of. They could be. If they're really related to cockroaches, nothing would kill them. I love smoking some meats too. Yep. Is Peyton if Peyton's Houston is sticking with LSU? I haven't heard about that. I don't know why you would break away. It doesn't sound like Oklahoma's really back on him anyway. They're going after the kid in Alabama, but I don't know. Like a good seafood boil. I like seafood boils. Yeah, I'm more shrimp than probably crawfish, but I like crawfish too. Anyway, why are we talking about all this food now? I'm getting hungry. What up, Mars? Best plate of Cajun goodness was at the Alpine House, just a block off of Bourbon Street, which has since closed shop. You know what? I think I ate there when we went to Mardi Gras. Long time ago, though. It's a long time ago. I love Cajun food, bro. That's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna have to do, man. That's what we're gonna have to do. Perfect Blood says ever since. Did you lose a lot of weight? Did you answer me on that when you did that? Love me some gumbo. Oh, I love gumbo too. Gumbo's the shit. Fresh water can grow in slightly brackish water. Those ones come salted. Nice. The Vietnamese crawfish, I have not. I like it. Mars is an athlete, man. He does things the way he does it. I can't say much about it. He's a former Division 1 athlete. Mars jams. Our guy. Want me to get you a Hogamaniac platter from Joe C's? Ooh. Yeah. Love it. I'm down. I'm in, man. Let's do it. We need to get that done. We need to get that done. Yeah. Who cares? There's a lot of people that there's a lot of outside of the country, of course, that eat cockroaches. So fried catfish. Ooh, damn. Hell yes, sir. I love catfish. Love catfish. Love catfish. During Lent, especially. Set up a Hall of Fame pregame tailgate this season. $20 a head. BYOB. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll see which games I'm going to for sure. Um, in Norman this year, but we'll definitely do it. We'll definitely do that. The Z Man from Joe's. Lost a 100-pound salad with chicken. Damn. That's a lot of weight, bro. Wow. That's good stuff. I've heard a bunch of people talking about that carnivore diet that it is what's up. I think I'm gonna get into it because I like some vegetables though. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Your wife is Korean? I didn't know that. Cool. All right, guys. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. I'm gonna go ahead and got some stuff I gotta get done. I definitely have to get some laundry done today. I will. Man, there's gonna be some times that we're gonna be man, this thing I'm expecting it to get growing. Again, like I said, I made the investment just to try to figure out this algorithm stuff and how to get this right and where I may be going wrong. I think hopefully it's worth the investment, but I believe it is. Most of the stuff we were doing pretty well. So if we can just turn that algorithm just a little bit, I think we should take off. But definitely looking forward to the season. Looking forward. Make sure you guys check us out on Thursday. We will have another episode of um, the SEC Gauntlet. We're gonna be doing actually this week. We're gonna preview and take a look in depth at Oklahoma and Ole Miss the rosters and what they look like going into the season, just like we did with the Tennessee one. I don't know how many of you guys saw that one. Make sure you go over there and check that one out. But we did a preview on Tennessee with our last one on Thursday, so that was one of them. So make sure you get in there and check that one out. We also have our quarterback top 10. If you haven't seen that one already, jump over there and check it out as well. So yeah, we'll be doing that on Thursday, and then Sunday. We didn't get to do it Sunday. I mean, they've been still having issues there in Mississippi with doing the live stream stuff. So we'll be doing it this Sunday for sure, and we're looking to definitely do a coach's hot seat. We'll be posting something on Twitter about that as well. So good. Expecting having fun with that. Also, Thursday night, it'll be, I guess, 8 Central. I believe it's 8 Central that we do it. We'll be doing Sooner Intel again as well with K. Chris and Chris Mason. But again, you can expect it'll be at 7 Central that we release the SEC Gauntlet as well. But then we'll be live after that. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure you hit that like button if you hadn't already done it. Share the stream. We'll see you on the next one.